I used to spend probably a good 2 hours at night snacking, drinking wine, but I weighed in at 177 in January when I had my surgery, and I currently weigh 150 pounds. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I have not posted in a long time. I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and get back to posting more often. I think I'm just gonna scrap literally everything in the past and just move forward. I think that's just what I'm gonna have to do when it comes to my anxiety. I wanted to come on here because I felt really encouraged and really inspired to talk to you guys about something that I've been kind of hiding from you. Not really. I just posted on Instagram about it yesterday or the day before. I'm gonna try and upload this video today. Today is Sunday. If you're seeing this on Sunday, I edited and filmed in one day, so let's just all give me a round of applause for that because I've been struggling lately with YouTube, but luckily the rest of my life I have not been struggling. So to me that's a win. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about my recent weight loss. Not because I'm going to give you some magic answer as to how I lost weight and how I was finally able to stick to something, because I didn't really ever stick to anything. Technically, I'll get into that. But anyway, I've been someone who has never been able to stick to any kind of diet plan ever. I never had a really bad weight problem, thank God. It is in my genetics. Both of my parents are overweight. I don't know, I'm gonna try and set down the camera. Maybe I can set it right here. Is this weird? Okay, let me put the camera somewhere because my arm is hurting. Okay. So hopefully this isn't too weird. I wanted to come on here and talk about my recent weight loss, not because I want to brag, not because I want to be like, look at me, I'm skinny now. I'm really not, and that's not the reason I lost weight. Honestly, if I'm being 100 bajillion million % honest, I don't have a day that I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. And I think that was the #1 reason that I was actually successful this time in controlling my bad eating habits, because it's not necessarily that I was so overweight that I needed to, you know, go on some crash diet. The main problem that I was having, and the main problem most people have when they want to lose weight, they try to make like a diet change. And I'm not saying changing your diet is a bad thing. If that works for you, like, all power to you. I have friends who that works for. For me, I am always the kind of person who overthinks things. I wanted to come on here and tell you guys and the way that I changed my entire life and how my weight loss came with it. So bear with me. So I've kind of talked about this in my last like update video where I was just talking about how I'm present and I'm more happier than I've ever been, and I still am happier than I've ever been. I am still using the 5-second rule. I do make snap decisions. And I try to make the best decision the fastest way possible, if that makes any sense. My kids are screaming downstairs. They're fine. They're playing. Everything's good. I wanted to share with you guys what I do on a daily basis and how my little changes changed the big picture for me, because that was my biggest issue before. Was I wanted to make a big change, and I would plan that I was going to make a big change, and then the big change time came and I freaked myself out and I would sabotage myself, and then I would get really down on myself, and it was this cycle, and it was really bad. And I think it's a cycle that a lot of people end up in, especially when you're just not happy with yourself. If you're not happy with yourself and you want to make a change, it's really hard when you go for that change, and then that day you go for that change, you do one bad thing, you put yourself down for it, and that's it. You go bake a batch of cookies in my case, or you go eat a gallon of ice cream, because you know what, it doesn't matter. You suck, you failed, shame on you. At least that was my cycle. I realized through this journey of self-discovery, of trying to control my anxiety and my depression, I realized that I had a lot of negative self-talk. And I've known about this for years, like years. I know I am my absolute worst enemy. I used to put myself down on the daily. I would look in the mirror and I'd say, wow, you look awful, you look fat, what are you wearing? You need to change this. You need to pluck your eyebrows. You have a pimple on your face. I would talk crap to myself. Not out loud, obviously, but I would talk crap to myself in my head. I would put myself down. Why did you eat those cookies yesterday? You feel like crap because you drank a bottle of wine last night. I was so hard on myself. And through the 5-second rule, Mel Robbins, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link a video of hers in my iCards. Just go click it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go click it. It will change your life. If you are receptive to it and you decide to make this change, it will change your entire life. So I started really being very proactive in my mental health, and in turn that has changed my physical health for the better. The baby's screaming. Let me go check on him. We're good. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this out fast, but who knows? You know me, I talk a lot. So changing my physical self was not gonna happen for me by just me thinking, okay, I'm gonna start a diet, because every time I've done that, it never worked. So I kind of threw that all aside and decided that I was going to just completely give up on it, honestly. I was at a point where I was like, you know what, I don't even care. I don't care what I look like. I don't care how much I weigh. I'm not even gonna try and focus on what food I'm eating, because every time I've done that, I've failed. I think a lot of my problem was I was never learning from the mistakes I was making, because I wasn't present in the moment realizing what mistake I was making at the time. By the time I was going to therapy and trying to figure out the mistake, it was too late and it was a big disconnect. I was never changing the behavior. I kept looking backward at all my failures, and I never understood that I needed to just be here in this moment. Stop worrying about the past, stop worrying about the future. If you don't know what I mean by that, I spent a huge amount of my time worrying about other things. Like, instead of sitting down and eating my breakfast and thinking about the food I was eating, I was sitting down, eating my breakfast, maybe even having 2 breakfasts, because I was worried about something else. I was somewhere else, Planet Ashley, worrying about everything. And that was my major issue, and I didn't realize it because I wasn't here in the moment. I changed my behavior from that point on, and I honestly couldn't tell you the date. I couldn't tell you when. I'm still not perfect. I still wake up every day feeling exactly the same as I always did, except my choices and my behavior is different. Instead of waking up and being miserable and being upset that I didn't sleep last night, I force myself to get out of bed and make my bed in the morning. And I force myself to be present in this moment, see how cute the baby is waking up, see what funny thing he tells me. Can't even tell you how much that has just changed my life. I don't feel like I need approval from anyone else but myself. I feel confident in my decision making, and that didn't happen overnight. What I think really made the difference in losing weight, because honestly, the losing weight was a product of changing my mental status, because I was eating because I was depressed, I was eating because I was anxious, or I was eating unhealthy food instead of healthy food. Like, a lot of the time I wasn't eating that much, I was just eating the wrong thing, and it was really just bad for me. Like, and then it would make me feel terrible because the food I was putting in my body was bad for me, and it was just like this cycle that I could not get out of for the life of me. And then I just started doing the Mel Robbins thing, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do what you need to be doing, stop worried about what's happening next or what happened yesterday, focus right here, right now. And it's so easy to say, and if you're watching this and you're like, what is she even talking about? I cannot explain to you the difference within myself by changing the way I speak to myself in my head. Instead of waking up and saying I'm so miserable, hold on, let me stop the kids from coming up here because they're gonna be screaming. I made the change of how I talk to myself as well. It wasn't just, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna make my bed. Eventually, the waking up and making my bed every morning, this sounds so ridiculous, but if you have the same issues as me, as feeling anxiety because of the chaos around you, which was honestly like one of the #1 reasons I was feeling so much anxiety, is because my house was just so disorganized, because my mind was so disorganized. Starting to do little things to fix that problem made me feel so good about myself and so accomplished, and I let myself feel accomplished from the stupidest, littlest, stupid thing, like making my bed in the morning or just tidying up, like something I never could do before because I would look at it, the big picture instead of just this one small problem, and I couldn't fix it. Like, in my head I was like, oh my god, this is overwhelming, I don't even know where to start, what do I do? Instead of just doing it, I was worrying about it. Changing my inaction and my worry and my anxiety into action. To give you an example, so when I would start getting this anxious thought, like, oh, this is like really overwhelming, it's really messy in here, I can't take it. And instead of just, you know, doing the logical thing and just starting somewhere and starting to clean, I would get overwhelmed, and then I would put myself down for it. Like, how did you let your room get this way? How do you live like this? You're such a slob, you're so lazy. And I would go down this list of insults to myself. And I've realized in this huge change that I've made, I have to be my #1 cheerleader. And my therapist has always said this, and everyone who has always given me advice has said this, and I was always just like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I could never really do it because I wasn't actually present trying to do it. I thought it was stupid. I didn't believe myself. I didn't believe that I had the potential to change, and me not believing in myself was keeping me where I was. In forcing myself to believe that I could change even if I didn't believe it in that moment, doing the little thing, making my bed, cleaning my bathroom in the morning, picking up the clothes before I walk out of this room, getting the kids dressed, doing the same thing every morning, having a schedule, having a routine, being present in that schedule, not letting myself get distracted, go on YouTube, try to stop thinking about what I'm feeling. The second I start feeling sad, depressed, overwhelmed, anxious, I deal with that emotion in that moment, in that time, at that exact moment. I answer myself, basically. So if I would start worrying about my room, I'd be like, okay, what could you do to fix that problem right now? Instead of sitting there and wallowing in it and worrying about it, I tell myself, stop worrying about it. You're worrying about it isn't gonna fix it. Do something to fix it now or move on. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel like I've organized my brain, because my brain was so disorganized and chaotic that I was portraying my chaos around me, basically. And I became a happier person. It's like the momentum of getting things done, checking things off of a to-do list, even if it's the stupidest, smallest, silliest thing, can change everything. And I never really thought of that. So, okay, so I know you guys are thinking like, okay, so how did you lose weight? So before my surgery, I weighed in at 177 pounds. That's the most I've ever weighed not pregnant. I was just at my unhappiest and my biggest weight. They happen to coincide. It doesn't mean that being overweight makes you unhappy, but I was extremely unhappy at my weight. I was unhappy with myself, and like I said, I was like my biggest downer. Instead of my biggest cheerleader, instead of my biggest supporter, I was my biggest abuser. I was so discouraged because of my own self-hate. And so before I got my surgery, I was 177. After my surgery, I didn't weigh myself, I don't think, for like 2 weeks. And around that time is kind of the time where I was trying to implement the 5-second rule. Something happened within me that I felt the need to like reach out for help. I don't know. I think a lot of people are waiting for an epiphany. I got my epiphany, but I don't believe that it was because it was just like, oh my God, randomly I'm like saved. I was searching for it because I was so sick of feeling the way I was feeling. I found Mel Robbins and I've watched almost every video she's put out. And through her, I've just gotten into this like TED Talk, like self-help. I watch self-help videos all the time. I listen to motivational speakers, not necessarily like motivational speakers like get up and do this. I don't know. The science of humanity and why we are depressed and why we feel anxious. I've discovered that depression, which is honestly, I didn't think I was suffering from depression as badly as I was, but I really was suffering really badly with depression. I didn't realize it because I was just continuing to live my life around my depression. I didn't know how to make myself happy anymore. And that is basically the definition of clinical depression. I was very, very severely depressed. The opposite of depression is motion. So if you feel sad, you feel like you don't want to get out of your bed, force yourself to get out of your bed. You're never gonna feel like you want to get out of your bed. Force yourself to do the things that you know will make you feel better. I know when my house is clean, I feel so good about myself. That is a huge source of like reward in my mind, serotonin, whatever my mind is giving me as a reward. Keeping my house clean is like #1 stability and antidepressant. Basically, cleaning and like feeling accomplished that I've gotten things done, organizing things with my kids, like making sure I have all of their activities and stuff planned out weeks before, making sure I do my laundry and I keep up on things. All of that has been the best antidepressant. I know it sounds crazy because when you're depressed, you don't even want to lift your middle finger to flip someone off. That's what I mean. Like you don't want to do anything. And I felt like that every day, and I would force myself to do the things that I was doing, but I had such a negative mentality about it that I made it worse. So not only forcing yourself to do the things that you want to do or you know will make you feel better, but also being positive about it. Giving yourself a high five, like saying like, look at you, you just made this bed. Like 2 months ago, you didn't make your bed for like a week. Like that is a huge accomplishment. You've done something, you've made progress. And that gives you this boost. Like I can't explain it. It's like this reward system that's naturally in your mind. You will give yourself a natural antidepressant. But I weighed in at 177 in January when I had my surgery, and I currently weigh 150 pounds. So I have lost 27 pounds total. And I'm still losing weight because I'm still not eating as much. I've started exercising mildly, but honestly, starting exercise after you lose weight is so much easier. I remember when I tried to start running when I was at the weight that I was at, I felt like heavy and tired, and I wasn't giving myself the right fuel. My personal problem with eating and food and my bad relationship and my bad habits with food was stemming from a lot from my anxiety and my depression. So changing that, and like I said, changing a little thing in your life, like making your bed every morning, can help you make the big changes. Like I don't eat at night anymore. I used to spend probably a good 2 hours at night snacking, drinking wine, trying to forget about how I feel. My kids are banging something against the wall. Anyway, I wanted to just share that with you. I hope that's helped you. I'll put my before and after picture so you can actually see, like, I really genuinely did lose weight, but I did not put myself on a diet. I'm still eating the exact same foods. I know people are probably gonna wanna know like details, so let me try and get into a little bit of detail. I still put sugar in my coffee. I still am a borderline sugar addict. Instead of eating, you know, like a whole box of donuts, I will allow myself to eat a donut. Like, I'm not gonna die from a donut. So I'll eat one donut instead of eating 12 donuts. Like, I was a binge eater because I wanted to feel happy. And I know it sounds like probably pretty shocking to you guys because you don't see me shoving food into my mouth all the time, but my portion sizes were ridiculous. And now that I'm distracted by doing normal everyday things that people do anyway, like, I don't know, do your dishes and clean your house, Ashley, apparently don't have as much time to eat. I'm not trying to put anyone down. Like, if you binge eat or you have a problem eating, don't put yourself down. The number one reason I wanted to make this video is because I want to encourage you guys. I think that's what I really want to do on this channel now. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to keep doing videos like this. But I do want to encourage you guys because I feel like the littlest amount of encouragement, like personal encouragement, someone encouraging you and saying, hey, that's really cool, that's a really good job, that can change your whole day. My husband is so encouraging to me and I'm so thankful for that, but some people don't have that. Some people don't have a husband. Some people don't have a significant other who could be encouraging to them. So if you guys don't have anyone who is encouraging to you, I could be your encouragement. Like, send me a message and I will help you with your problem. I'm not saying that I'm a licensed psychologist. I'm not a licensed anything. I've just figured out what works for me. And if you guys want me to share what works for me with you guys, I'm 100% willing to do that. I just have a different view on life, which is kind of why I've been absent on YouTube as well. I just have a different outlook on life, and I feel like I just was born and I just woke up from a very long nap and I'm finally present in my life, and it feels so good that I just don't want to do anything to mess that up, which is kind of what I was saying with YouTube. Like, I didn't want to start doing YouTube and get distracted again. Hopefully I edited this video down. Hopefully it's not a bajillion minutes long. Like I said, I'll put in my before and after pictures. I took the before picture probably 3 or 4 months after I had Eli, and I looked the same for a good year because I did not change any of my habits. And now I fit into a size 6, which I don't think I've ever fit into a size 6. I weighed 145 in high school, so I'm wearing 150 right now. I feel like I'm perfectly fine with where I am. I'm still technically losing weight just because I don't eat at night, but I'm not actively trying to lose weight. I want to be healthy again. I want to feel strong. I've never been the kind of person who could be athletic. I suck at running. I suck at weightlifting. I have no muscle on my entire body, but I'm working toward changing that. Every day I make sure I go outside. That's another thing I was not doing at all. I wasn't going outside. I was staying at home as much as I possibly could. I've been taking the baby and the kids for like an afternoon walk on days that I can't really get out and do things, and I don't beat myself up if I can't get out and do something, but that's made a huge difference. I just feel like a different person, and I wanna share that with you guys. I wanna share the encouragement and motivation that I feel with you guys. And I know a lot of you guys suffer from anxiety and depression. I'm not saying there's a cure-all pill, but there is ways for you to be your own happiness, because that's what I learned in this journey. Like, I used to try and rely on my husband to make me happy, but you can never make somebody else happy. You could try, you can make somebody else laugh, you can make somebody else have a good time, but at the end of the day, if that person is not happy, they're not gonna be happy. They have to make their own happiness. And I never understood what that really meant before until now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I'll try to get back to all of the comments. No, I'm not gonna try. I will get back to all of your comments. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new here, subscribe, go follow me on social media, because sometimes I get really absent on YouTube. And yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
trying not to speak, pretend that I'm dreaming. I smell your breath, not listening, but I still hear you.